Man, I can like I can actually hear the hard drive spinning up when I hit record. Holy crap. Okay, I switched encoding settings. Hopefully the stream is not gonna be dorky now. 78% of dropped frames is a bit much. So yeah, I think we had about 2.5 hours of stream and it only showed up as 30 minutes on YouTube. So that was lovely. Good thing I was recording at the same time. Now, um, let's see about porting to Godot 4.3. Take advantage of some features. Let's see. Alrighty. Let's see here. Guess we can just do documents. And then... Oof. Okay. This should just be downloads. Yes. Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay, now did I export a folder? No, I did not. I just exported the engine itself. Okay. One second. Okay. All right. Now, I have shortcuts that I was using here. I need to make a new one. 56 by 56, sure. I'm gonna need to take the icon, move it here. Okay, so that's way less. Way less. Okay. What is that, like 32 by 32? 64. Okay. And then I'm just gonna go ahead and make a piece of text. So this is 4.3. Mm-hmm. Okay, so that's what that looks like. I don't know why I'm stressing so much time on this. Okay. That's fine. Okay, this is going to be exported to documents. Place it here. I think it has to be, I think a PNG is okay. Because what I'm going to do is go here, make a new shortcut, tell this shortcut to use a different icon. Hopefully, if I can. Interesting. Okay, I think I... Oh, that's not the shortcut. Whoops. Change icon. Yes, 4.3. And it wants an ICO file. Okay. So, ICO. Beautiful. And with that, I can drop it down here. Oh, the shortcut. And there you go. So we can actually see what's what. Not bad. It's not quite the same as the other ones, but it'll do. Okay, so before we actually do this, I'm going to push to GitHub so that we have a way back in case. Okay. New tiles and player animation. Well, I see the barrage of heart emojis, so I assume the stream is actually working now. It doesn't say any dropped frames. Knock on wood. So far, so good. All right. Cool. Okay, so I pushed to GitHub. We are going to close. Dear God, help me. Let's run this. Oh boy. It's looking more compact. Let's get to... Where is it? Engine. This project is edited in 4.2. This will change to 4.3. Project will be modified. No squat. Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay. At least one surface uses an old surface format, needs to be upgraded. Upgraded happens automatically. Right. Okay, so it's working. I shouldn't touch this. Okay. All right. Let's see. Let's see what works. Let's see what breaks. Well, that still works. Okay. Controller. All right. Is it me or is the game running smoother too? Maybe it's the placebo effect. gotta tone down these sounds. They're really, really loud. Let me just quickly go in here. Footsteps, wall hit, jump, wall jump. That's fine. Jump. More or less. Oh, yes. Nice. Okay. That's cool. Something tells me that maybe we should go even further with the character proportions. Okay, so we don't need this. This is fine. Like do half head, half body type deal. Char version 2. Char version 1, which technically isn't true. Let's see. I don't know if I should really go through this right now. Well, let's see. We know that a single tile is 64 by 64 pixels. So what if I do this? So here's 64 by 64. I'm gonna quickly fill this in. Maybe the reason why I keep getting weird results is because I keep augmenting the dimensions of the character. Let's say 64 by 64 and we stick to it. Like this. Did you join the game jam? What game jam? I am not aware of any game jams. Move the canvas center, move the canvas center. GMTK. Remind me, what is that acronym for? Please and thank you. Oh, okay. I want to see the rules and the guides. I just don't want to lock the rules and the guides. Okay, let's try this. Huh. Okay. Game Maker's Toolkit. I wasn't aware there was a game jam. Haven't really followed on the current game jams front. Sounds interesting. Okay, let me see if I can do this. We're gonna go. I guess we can do this in the grid. We have to be able to see the grid. I'm just fixing the canvas here. Dimensions of the canvas. We kind of expanded it willy-nilly without any rhyme or reason. 32 by 32. Okay, so in that case, let's get rid of guides. Yes. Good day. Hey, Zoltan. Welcome. Okay, so let's do 128 by 128 for the whole canvas. Game Maker's Toolkit. Okay, is it Game Maker's Toolkit as in Game Maker Studio, or is it the YouTube channel called Game Maker's Toolkit? I didn't know they were running game jams. Has the game jam already started? Is the theme announced? There we go. Okay, that's what I want. YouTube channel. Okay, got it. So yeah, what's the has the theme been announced? Is it already started, or they just announced the, joining of the game jam? Because it has been a while since I've joined a game jam. Okay, so let's say this is base dimensions. It started. The theme is scale. Ah, I see. Okay, well, if it started, maybe it's a bit too late to ponder on this theme. How long is the game jam? And has it been long since it started? Okay, I'm gonna make this be black. This one is gonna be orange. 4 days. 4 days of... Okay, yeah, seems pretty standard. Here's the thing. I have a bunch of mini games that I made for past game jams, and they need to be... Some of them need to be fixed up. Until I clean up house with those games, I think starting new game jams might be counterproductive. Right? It's just going to be yet another micro project with partially finished elements. So, yeah. Maybe another time. Thanks for letting me know, though. Okay, so here we have this. These are the dimensions. So now we go here. Funny thing is, there may not necessarily have to be a lot of things to port. So, yeah, should be okay. Have I played on with Godot 4.3? Not yet. I just launched it. But you know that, if there's stuff to be playing around in 3D, it wouldn't be in this project, so that would be on another day. The navigation stuff is really cool. Being able to split apart the large navigation zones into smaller chunks and pieces. That part's really interesting. I just realized that the hands seem to be going in the same direction as the body, which isn't really correct. we do have to keep in mind proportions. Okay. Oh, okay, that's not the way we want this to work. Come on. Fill mode. Reference. Current layer only. I think the head shrinks in here a little bit. think the body shrinks a little bit too much here. So it seems like I went a little bit too bubbly. Too many rounded corners. On duty shift now 4 days. Obviously everything falls apart. Of course. Of course it is. Okay. Did anything break? So far, not. So far, I'm pleasantly surprised. But, you know, we've only played one single scene, so who the flip knows? Okay, so we've got a little bit of rotation there. And then let's see about doing some semblance of hair. Maybe I should do that as a separate layer. It's a little too late now, but, you know. That might actually be a good idea, because then we can swap out the hair, hair design for a different character. Mm-hmm. The inside is slightly brighter, except we're gonna have to make it sample from multiple layers. Oh, come on. Don't be using onion skin now. Mm-hmm. thank Creative Devs for giving us all these different fill bucket features. So you can just easily, whoops, something happened there. My outline has disappeared. Except I don't want this color. Ah, okay, I see what I did. This has to be light. This... I am gonna have to look for folks who can work on credit for voice acting for this project. And for that, I'm gonna need to make a mighty effective presentation so that the project would actually look like, you know, worth putting your time in for free. Hey, how's game development? Doing pretty good. You know, slight hiccups here and there, but nothing too out of the ordinary. Pretty standard issue stuff. Okay. Okay, I wonder, should I have the body... Whoops. Come on, stay here. Should I have the body round over here? That might actually be a good idea. So it doesn't look so Humpty Dumpty-ish. Minding proportions too. Okay. This is starting to render the decision to draw this across multiple layers kind of inconsequential. Okay, that could work. How to download Game Maker Studio 2. Well, I mean, honestly, I'm sure you'll find somebody who's who needs help in that. gonna go slightly darker for the outline here. Because apparently we need it. Okay. Oh, okay, let's fix the face first. Okay, that's good. Alrighty. I think that's looking a little bit better. Oh yeah. I'm not sure what happened there. Save it up. Like the player you're working on. Looks pretty nice. Appreciate it. It's iteration after iteration until I get it right. Until I'm satisfied with the result. Okay, what do we got in the next piece? Slide is what we got. Okay. So once again, the rule here is half the body, half the head. Just gonna pre-place these empty frames. Okay. This one more or less similar. Need to leave more room for the head. Hey, Steven. Good day. Also, is this not thicker? Oh, it is thicker. Dang. The line thickness is 3 pixels wide in certain places. That's not good. Okay. I think there's also one more frame we're not accounting. Idle. Everything's kind of off because we increased the size of the canvas. Okay, we need to clearly differentiate between body and head. Hey. Welcome. Look at all these fine looking fellas coming in the chat. Okay. Ooh. Actually, hold on a sec. Use only current layer. There. Nice. Maybe we don't need to shade the hand that's behind darker. Maybe this would be okay. Okay. 6 views, you need to hit 10. I'll settle. Okay, now, this is supposed to be the slide. This is the jump. Just gonna bias it to the side. Nice. Okay. Next. Hair. We just paint it over like this. Okay. Maybe we shouldn't. Speaking of which, we don't actually have any idle animations. These are just still frames. We may or may not want to add some idle animation at some point. Whoops. Sample this color. The heck is ear? Ears for the other character. Okay. Okay. It's actually a great excuse to do a complete fill, a complete outline, instead of just relying on this. Okay. What else are we missing? Face. We're missing face pixels. That's the wall slide. That's basic slide. This is the slower part of the basic slide. Okay. And then this is jump, idle. Idle's a little chunky. The heck. Okay. Transform should be using nearest neighbor. Okay. Well, let's see what this looks like. Hide. I think everything is more or less centered. Although some of the dimensions might be a little messy. Like this. Okay. Let's see what this looks like. Render animation. Char run. Sure. PNG 0 to 21. Alright. Let's see. Now, because the dimensions have changed, we now have to adjust some of the collision shapes. But, because we are sticking to the 64 by 64 pixel dimensions, we might still be okay. Is there an offset here? There isn't. Okay. Aside from the fact that it's not quite on the ground, this might work. Okay, let's see how bad this is. Okay, that's actually not looking too bad. Maybe just a little bit of floating. Oof. Right. Oh yeah, that's right. We need to change the the loading. All right. Oh well. There's the ambience. Just need to adjust the collision shapes a little bit. They definitely do stand out more, but that's also because I disabled their interaction with the lighting. So there isn't, they're not being blown out by the lights. Let's see. Body. I need to adjust some collision shapes here. Which one is this? Wall detection. Yes. Okay. What about the base collision shape? Body shape bottom. Body shape top. Why do we have two separate shapes? Huh. Oh, that's for sliding. Right. Makes perfect sense. Okay, that's good. Now, we have a slide. So because of the slide, I think we need to adjust... I think maybe we could just move the slide. Okay, come on. Where's the slide? Where's the slide? The wall slide. There it is. Okay. Let's go body. Okay. I do feel there's something missing in the animations. Maybe I need to push the limbs a little bit further apart. And maybe the jump. Maybe the jump is a little off. Come on. Krita's not doing too good right now. Could push the jump a little bit further. This. That could work. I think that reads a little bit better. The Pirate Software video about maintaining productivity as an independent developer, independent studio, where you do small project, large project, and then instead of doing an even larger and larger project, you go back to doing small project, and then get some money in to handle larger and larger projects. That was a really interesting insight because I actually have a whole bunch of smaller projects that I can focus on in between the larger ones. Can't wait to get to those. Some of those projects I've started years ago, like Birth of Reapers. It's a 2D co-op hack and slash that's supposed to have like hard rock and metal music soundtrack. Man, so many projects I want to get to. Strange Events in Albumer was another one. It's a lot more like the Five Nights at Freddy's The Pit. It's got that 2D side view horror style. Echoes of Betrayal as a new name. Man. It's let's not be that much of a nose. Okay, that looks a lot better. I think the jump pose reads a lot better now. Perfect. In all seriousness, I do need like a proper new name. Okay. Man, the sound effects are so much on the low end. They're too bassy. You know what? Let's do 2 jump frames. One for when we're going up and one for when we're going down. I feel like that might be a good little addition. Desolate Hopes. I guess without knowing the context of the game, it's kind of difficult to come up with a proper title. It is an AI gun rogue type overarching conflict. I suppose it'll become apparent once we're closer to having something playable. Which, by the way, something I realized in the last video, but it wasn't really in because the stream got messed up. I did a whole bunch of recordings of the main antagonist of this early access side quest, and they're really good voiceovers, and I would hate to throw them away. So if I decide to have no voiceovers for this game, then I have to throw away those voiceovers as well, which would be a damn shame because those were some really good deliveries. So I think I am just gonna have to see if I can find somebody who can do some voice acting on credit for portfolio and stuff. Might be kind of difficult, especially with the times we live in. I don't really want to touch AI for this either. System sounds way louder than my voice. Well, that's fascinating. I think it's because I have no idea why that's because. I'm just gonna boost up. As long as my voice doesn't clip. I think that's my main concern here. Oh, does it clip? Is it gonna clip? I don't know. I don't know. I do not know because I do not see. Oh, there it is. Okay. Well, that's pretty much as loud as I can get it before it starts clipping. unless I can boost. I could technically patch my microphone through one of those, whatchamacallit, through one of those signal processors. I actually found another used one, slowly decking out. Noise suppression. Oh, what? That's a little weird. My compressor's not on. The compressor's supposed to be on. Okay, how's this? That may or may not compress my voice a little bit, but hopefully that should be okay. System sounds might be loud because I noticed the game sound was really quiet in the stream, in the recordings. Much better now. Okay, cool. Thanks for letting me know. Okay. That could work. Did have to crank up the volume earlier. Oh, well. Gotta watch my volumes, I guess. 22. Okay. I think the head in the previous one is abnormally huge. Okay. Render animation, 22. Okay. Jump up. Jump down. Sprites. Sprites. There we go. Characters. What the heck? Player. Brickman. Oh, that's not the right place to have this. Okay, now I know something's messed up. Slide. Walk. Walk has the same exact frames. Run. Oh, these are... Break. Break slow. Idle. Okay, that's what's messed up. Ready. Oh, nice. I love it. Going like a rocket. Okay, what the heck is that? That's jump up. What? Well, hold on a second. Are you just doing jump? It's showing me the correct frame. Okay. It looks like it only happened on the streaming machine. Okay. Jump. Jump. we go. Glitch in the matrix. Okay, this seems like this is the only place where we play the jump, which is perfect because we can do this now. We could say jump up, and it's only if velocity dot y is above 0. It might be reverse, but we'll see. Else jump down. Thought the stream died for a sec. It did. It definitely did. Okay. Oh. Velocity. Doesn't exist. Velocity. What? Hold on a second. It has velocity. So I misspelled it. Velocity dot y. It is a character body. Identifier not found. Is it like a British English spelling of velocity with 2 V's or some shit? Hold on a second. Velocity. It is a property. Yes. I'm just gonna do this. Yeah, it's literally the same. Unless there's something else that also uses the player script. That makes no sense. Man. Player GD, which is character body 2D, which has a property called velocity. Am I crazy? Are we discovering engine bugs already? Not a sec. We are referring to it a number of times. Oh. Velocity tracker. We're not referring to... no. Oh, hold on. What's this? Why is that being redeclared? Although I don't know if that was really the problem. Huh. We have a variable called movement, which is from legacy. Set velocity movement. And then movement is equals to velocity. What is this? This seems a little redundant. I guess that's porting process from 3 to 4. Set velocity movement. Huh. I mean, we don't need movement in that case. I'm gonna do something crazy. Crazy. I was crazy once. They put me in a room. A rubber room. A rubber room with bugs. Bugs. Bugs make me crazy. Right, so let's do no to this. And then no to this. Just gonna... Movement. Movement appears a total of 78 times. Okay, we want whole match. 60 times. Movement, so we're gonna switch that with velocity. Dear God, help me. Member velocity redefined. Yep, that's fine. We're not supposed to redefine it. Alrighty. God help us all. Let's see if this works or breaks. It definitely breaks. Okay, so now what now? is this worth movement velocity? Did I write this? I mean, yeah, there's some really old nonsense happening here. Hold on. Move and slide. Move and slide has to be called. If not AI, move and slide is executed. That is correct. Why are there two of them? Oh, this comment. So I think there's a place where we clear velocity, which is right here. I'm not supposed to clear velocity. Okay, it still doesn't work, so it's probably another place where we clear velocity. Set up direction. Don't need this. Max slides. Don't need this. Set on slope. All of that stuff is already configured. Here we clamp. Gravity. Oh, that's on the y-axis though. What is this? Velocity, velocity and velocity tracker. Oh, that's for averaging. Why do we need that though? I think maybe we actually had velocity be used for something else. Transfer, dang it. Okay. Yes, we did. Velocity was used for something else. It was like average velocity. So this... Okay. Got it. Bar. Shall we just go back? Let's go back. Yes. So, how many times? Movement. Okay, movement is back. This nonsense is back. Okay, we got velocity. So we need to change velocity. It used to be not a keyword, now it is a keyword. Okay, there's 12 matches. It's used... Okay, this is for transferring the velocity, and this is for copying it over. Apply central impulse. Uh-huh. Okay, got it. I got it. So here's what we're gonna do. Rename this to average velocity. Mm-hmm. Guess we can just declare it as a local. Yes. Uh-huh. Right. We need to make it declared up there. Still got semicolons from when I started this. This is when I wrote this right after porting it from GameMaker to Godot. Okay, and then movement is going to be velocity. And then go up here, get rid of this nonsense. Okay. Oh, now it's just broken entirely. Average velocity Y doesn't like it because at least once we need to tell it what type of data it contains. Mm-hmm. Okay. Oh, lovely. Speed. My name is. Oh boy. Okay. We have move speed. Sprint speed. At least it's working, just partially. Just need to figure out what's happening here. Velocity X. Game maker to Godot. Sprint speed. Sprint speed. Sprint speed. Velocity on the x-axis. This is for the wall collisions. Oh, hold on a sec. We had the nonsense with movement equals velocity right around move and slide. Velocity is not average velocity. There we go. Infinite inertia removed. Got it. Painful porting process. This isn't actually porting. This is just updating the code. There we go. Nice. My god, are these sound effects loud as shit. Come on. They're also very bassy. I need to tell the sound guys to tone it down a bit. Footsteps. Minus 35. Wall hit. Minus 30. Okay. Wall jumps. It's not a wall jump. It's this one. Mm-hmm. Okay, well, if we're doing that, we might as well lower the other one as well. The regular jump. Hey, Callisto Protocol is on sale. I feel like the left and right jump is not very sensitive. Also, acceleration seems to be very slow. The voice is a lot louder than the system sounds. Well, yeah, I increased the... Oh, how's that for you? Is it loud enough for you right now? It's not system sound. I just reduced the sound effect volume for all the jump, yeah, everything. Jump, run. I just reduced the sounds because they're really basic. Cool. Okay, well, that worked out. Also, my voice is clipping. That's not good. Maybe I should just parse my voice through one of these hardware. You like the bassy sound until you have to listen to it for 2 hours straight trying to beat a level. You know? And you gotta leave headroom for other sound effects in the mix. It's kind of the main concern, main issue. Okay. Okay, so let's see here. Let me maybe double check. Okay, so we added sliding, but I think that sliding might have done something. Your voice is clipping and it's not really noticeable. It's clipping on the output of the compressor, so as long as it's happening there and not on the input, it wouldn't really be as noticeable. But I just have to look at the VU meter going in the red and complaining about it every once in a while. Okay, let me run this. Compressed Infinity do an 8-bit voice. You'll see who's loyal then. Okay, let's see. So I think this whole well, okay, we're stuck now. I think this whole sliding mechanic is not really working out too well. Maybe sliding should be done when we press down, not when we're moving in the joystick in the opposite direction. Why didn't I do that before? That seems like a smart way to do it. Right now, sliding is done when you're pressing in the opposite direction. So if your character is moving to the right, but you're pressing on the left, then yeah, whoops. Then the slide initiates. Yeah, I feel like that's what we should do. Okay. I think, yeah, we don't have control over up and down motion. That's handled by jumping and gravity. Okay, so where do we handle a slide? There is no such thing as slide, apparently. Underscore slide? Oh, we're looking for exact match. Okay, this looks like something. Oh, that's wall slide. Yeah, that's not it. Break. That's what we're looking for. Uh-huh. Now this is based on velocity. Which isn't really good, because that's our real movement. We have walk, and then we have break slow. So what do we do here? We disable the top shape. Amount ratio. This is for changing how much dust is being produced. And then we play the break slow, or we do break. This is for based on the speed. Oh, well. Okay, we need to start removing some of this stuff. This, if the direction matches. This is if it doesn't match. So remove this, first of all. We're not doing this based on direction. Okay, good. Now what do we have here? This is for making sure that we are actually walking or running. I mean, I don't actively go out and you know, make jokes against his decisions or himself because, you know, again, I've never done that. Right? It would make sense why he's decided to extradite himself from our friendship based on me attacking him personally, but I never did. And there's no point in kind of targeting him directly. I've said what I had to say. He's made his choice, so you know. Dunking on the entire political movement. Oh yeah, any day. But you know, within deserved reason, of course. Okay, running, walk type, walking, running. So this is fixed. How do we do the slide? We need to detect if we're pressing down. It looks like this is the only place where we handled it. There's only 2 mentions of it. Okay. Player body, play. My character, idle. How am I doing? Well, it's disappointing. You know, no shortage of thinking, but thinking about the whole affair, but at the same time it's like, what am I gonna not voice? You know, when you see something, say something. That's my general approach to things. So what am I gonna say? Not voice my disagreements with what's happening in the world, what's happening in the West? Hell no. That would be disingenuous to myself. And you know, if he has gotten to the point where he cannot discern between personal life and friends' opinions, then there's nothing I can do about it, man. It is what it is. Oh yeah, for sure. Dude was my best friend for like 10 years and up. how are we going to handle this? If is on floor. If the velocity is above. Okay, so this is just for switching the animations. This doesn't actually affect our sliding. Huh. I guess this is where we need to check. If sliding is toggled, how do we know if sliding is toggled? So we need to have definitions for the down. Left, right, jump. I suppose we'll have to define these. Oh boy. So this would be KB up, KB down, like that. Preferably we could move this in the same place where the other KB commands are. If we ever add ladders, this is also going to come in handy. Yeah. It's a little wild considering I my entire life I would consider him to be bipartisan and just kind of being able to discern between friendship and personal opinions. Let's see. So the next one is C1 up, C1 down, C2 up, C2 down. Okay, the up is not going to be used for the time being. Okay, up, down, C2, C2 down. After this whole thing, some particular philosophical reels have finally started resonating with me. Mainly the fact that it's impossible for people to go through life and stay exactly the same. We absorb information, we take in new information, we always change. So it's very, very surprising if any two people kind of go through the entire life and then always being on the same tracks. C2 move left, C2 move right. C2, oh, right, move up. Ooh. Move up, move down. And then C1. Move up, whoop. Move down. Okay, that's good. So now we have these defined. I'm gonna close. And we need to actually define these now. So move up, KB, move up. Move down, KB, move down. Beautiful. So now we should be able to go where? So this is where it used to be. Okay, if input is action pressed, and then we need to do input map. Specifically, in the input map, we're going to be doing move down. And then something goes here. What goes here? Input type. So if this is pressed, it means we are sliding. Otherwise, we do this. So now what? Well, now it's not based on changing directions. I think now it's going to be based on velocity. Slow, so we have brake. Let's do this. If it's less than this, and then L if it's less than 200. What is idle threshold? It's 20. Okay. Sure, that works. If it's less than 200, then we're going to do brake slow. Trying to come up with a name for myself instead of Cringy Interactive. Any ideas? I mean, Cringy Interactive sounds pretty good. Okay, cool. Alrighty. I believe this isn't going to affect the velocities. I guess we'll see. Yeah, we're going to have to work in the sandbox for a little while. Send the bukasu. There you go. Okay. That does literally nothing. Oh, it's complaining. Probably because it cannot find the inputs. KB move down doesn't exist. Like hell it doesn't. KB move down. Is it just KB down? Oh, yes. Damn it, why do I keep... Damn my sausage fingers. Premature evacuation games. Oh, God. Okay, I don't need this scene, goddammit. Need this one, sandbox. Okay, well, it's not working, but it's not complaining. Okay. Okay, I think there's going to be another place. There might be another place also where we did this check. Nope, it's just two places, so it just does exactly what we needed to do. Let's see, does this just never get triggered? Oh, no, not by the looks of it. Okay. Is the mapping incorrect? C1 move down. Ah. Joy axis. Joy button. D-pad right. Interesting. We used D-pads for movement. Ow. Okay. I think that might be a problem. We probably shouldn't be using D-pads for any sort of movement anyways. So that means our movement, if we're using a controller, is done here. Okay, so... I don't see the reason why this wouldn't work, though. It is a valid way of checking for button presses. Maybe it's button IDs? Let's see. Device 0, all devices. This should be device 0. This should be device 0 as well. Which probably could be the reason why it didn't work. Let's double check that again. Yeah, that's weird. It does exist because it's not complaining. I suppose maybe we'll have to handle it here. Okay, if input type is KB, how do we know if it's sliding? So we'll do sliding false, or I guess sliding is just going to be a variable that we'll define by this. Except these conditions, if it's not keyboard, that means we're doing joystick. We might actually have to get rid of any D-pad configurations. It's adding unnecessary complexity. And we might, in this case, free up the D-pad for other functionality. Because again, this was kind of bored from Super Meat Boy, where we had dual inputs, D-pads or joystick, because it's a very simple game. You literally don't do anything else besides running and jumping. Okay. If it's not keyboard, hold on, why does that say left when this is move? Okay, there's quite literally no difference between what I'm doing here and me doing that at the bottom. So I don't actually know why this is not working. Unless we can go up here and then start by testing keyboard. So KB is going to be our input method. Oh, that works. So the keyboard works. I just need to make sure that I test in the sandbox. Oh, nice. Let's go. Out of my way. Okay. Okay, so interesting. So this is where we need to make sure that we don't add velocity if we are sliding. Okay, cool. Where do we do that? If it's not keyboard, this is where we use the joystick to control. Shall we forego the D-pad for movement? It's not like we have a shortage of buttons. It wouldn't. Yeah, me neither. It is a 2D game, and some people might want to use D-pad for movement. Okay. I guess we can do if input is action pressed, and then we do this whole shebang. Down. Input map, input type, controller ID. Cool. So if this is not engaged, then we do this. I believe that's the entirety of movement. Control velocity using D-pad or joystick, and then this is for switching. This is to make sure that joystick and D-pad don't conflict with one another. It just detects which one we pressed last, and it sets the type of joystick to be that. Don't give the players options. Well, Super Meat Boy didn't give the option. It just says, you want to use joystick? Cool. You want to use the D-pad? Just press D-pad and you're good to go. No need to do menu diving or switching. I believe Celeste also handles movement with both joystick and D-pad, if I remember correctly. Lock player movement. If it's not keyboard and set to joystick, we do that. If it is keyboard or joystick set to D-pad, we just sample the inputs this way. Okay, that should technically work. I'm running the wrong scene, damn it. Okay, cool. It doesn't want to slow down either. That's not good. Okay, so we gotta do else. And then we gotta do deceleration here as well. If is pressing down, I'm running the wrong scene. Okay. Okay. Yeah, we are slowing down. And it is actually playing something. It's playing the other animation. The problem is that I think when we get into the running stages, it just ignores that entirely. Which actually seems like that might just be what we're doing here. Walk type running. Maybe there's a conflict. If it's above 500, that might be it. If it's above 500, we do break. If it's less than 500, we do break slow. And that only happens when we do down. Although I didn't see the print for sliding, so maybe. Dang it, run the right scene. Okay, there we go. Okay. So now we need to fix the orientation of the character. Now that would be done here. Okay. This is, what is this? Is this it? If on floor. So this is an exception when we're not on the floor. This is based on collisions. Where do we flip? Here's where we flip. Rotate player sprite to face the velocity direction. So that might actually not be how we want to handle it. This is where we might want to make it based on our button presses. Okay. Now we have on floor over here. So it seems to me, if we're on the floor, not on the wall, maybe I should just handle it here. If we're pressing down, that means we're trying to slide. Walk type, play walk, play run. Okay, do we actually store which buttons we're pressing? Intended direction. Intended direction, that's what we want. Is set to 0. Okay, I think we can actually use this. There's 12 places where we use it. It looks like it used to be used for comparing if we're going in the right direction. This is for making us rapidly decrease the velocity if we're trying to go in the opposite direction. Cool, and that's the declaration, reset to 0, and calculation. Okay, cool, so that's perfect. That's what we want. We are going to, I guess we're going to go down here. And instead of checking for velocity, we're going to do, this is for left. So if, let's do this below 0.0, true. and then otherwise false. So that's the intended direction, X. Damn it, wrong scene. I am getting hungry. Should get something to eat. Okay. There we go. That's what I remember it looking like before. When we had that little shuffle to slow down. Okay, that's not quite right. Interesting. Ah, you know what? This. That's why we didn't check if we were on the floor, because it also has to affect our jumping. Dang it. Hello. Nice. And that's looking pretty good. And then slows us down. And then we'll do that. Perfect. Okay, I think our up and down animations flipped a little bit. Or the frames for the jumping. Yeah, okay. Let's see. Oh, there's the jump. That's right. Perfect. Cool, so we got this. Wrong scene. Man, I kind of want the player to be affected by lights. There we go. Okay. So that seems to work. And then we'll fall. You know what? It's not extreme enough. We need this to be a bit more expressed, like this. Yeah. Perfect. Okay, it's a little jiggly. Oh, don't merge. Don't do that. It's a little jiggly, but we can work with it. New animation looks pretty good. Thank you. Engine. Sprites. Player. Brickman. I just need to export this one thing. Yeah, we should probably put some empty frames there so it doesn't export nonsense. This one. Which means we should export it anyways. Yes. Yep. Beautiful. Have you guys seen the bit of news that I posted on in the general chat? Russia's opening up invitations to anybody who wants to escape the neo-liberal propaganda and the regime. Stick to the traditional family values and stuff. Who would have thought, of all places, it will be Russia to be the salvation of tradition. I guess it's not just Russia. I mean, anyone who's an enemy of US is pretty much going to be on that front, just by the looks of it. Let's double check if this works. Run the right scene. Grim. Yo. Okay, so we're checking. Nice. Okay, that looks good. you could move to Russia and then easily move to Belarus. I don't have to necessarily move to Russia to be able to return to Belarus. I can go straight to Belarus. Because when we left 20 some odd years ago, when I was a kid, we didn't do it through like through whatchamacallit, like the Canada's like refugee thing. A lot of people do it. They just kind of take everything they have and they say, oh yeah, we're just going to Canada to visit, and then they just abandon the country entirely, and then they take refugee status and then go from there. But we went the proper routes. Like, we did all the paperwork. My parents did their, their, what is it, college, university, English classes, TOEFL, whatever their like standard requirements that you need to meet to have appropriate permanent residence in Canada, before they opened up the borders to literally any Joe Schmo. Or I guess any Habib Shabib technically would be the correct way to marginalize it. Yeah, so we have just open road right back. So we did everything by the books, which honestly is coming in a bit of a clutch right now, considering that everything that's happening. So yeah, my brother's already did his renewal for his passport and his like citizen's card. My brother and my mom actually went there for about a month. My brother for about a month, and then my mom for a couple of weeks. They just got back yesterday, as a matter of fact. So I was holding down the fort while they were gone. So yeah, my brother has a lot of interesting things to say about Belarus. First of all, he says the food is delicious. Compared to like ultra processed stuff that you find in the grocery stores here in Canada, which is a huge bonus for me, because I like good food, and I feel like Canadian grocery food has been engineered to just fatten you up as much as possible, and then cause as many health problems. Because if you look at ingredients list of the same products in Europe, if it's the same exact product, American-made product, or Western product made for the European market, you will find like half of as many ingredients and carcinogens or whatever the heck it is in the ingredients list. So that's got to be a huge sign. Never mind the fact that Russia and Belarus and some other countries have banned GMO foods. No, like none of this GMO nonsense. It's quite literally just illegal to sell. So yeah, he seemed to validate or verify that little tidbit of information. So food's delicious. They brought some food, like the ketchup. Ketchup is so good. Out of like the very simple condiment stuff. Can't really bring too much in terms of organics because it's going to get confiscated in Vilnius. Vilnius apparently is just going down the shitter because they've fully embraced the EU's rule, and they've ended up tanking their whatchamacallit, their economy, and they are really pissed from what we've gathered in the travels about how well Belarus is doing, because they're independent. They're independent. They don't have to take any of the EU shit, right? So there's actually a much stricter border control over the border between Vilnius and Belarus, because people from Vilnius go to Belarus to buy cheap groceries and cheap food and cheap cars, or affordable, right? Just because in Vilnius, it's just totally messed up in Vilnius. And the border patrol is like, no, you must spend your money in Vilnius. So they confiscate any raw produce, any food, because it's like an hour drive, right? Or so from Belarus to Vilnius. The borders, right? You can cover the entire size of Belarus in like 3 hours, right? And that's a country. So yeah, people have been just traveling to Belarus to stock up on groceries and food, and of course that takes the money out of the Vilnius already shattered economy, So they've been really, really, well, they've been hunting down or breaking down or whatever the term is, I forget, on any sort of produce that you take over the border. So that's lovely. Food's great. That's really good. It only cost my brother like $100-something to restore all the papers for his citizenship. That was, really, really affordable. Yeah, I mean, things are starting to look like returning back to the homeland seems like the most wise approach. Even despite the fact of if there's likely going to be, well, I don't want to say likely, knock on wood, but a war conflict between West and the BRICS countries. But it certainly seems like something that's worth fighting for. I'm looking at what's happening with Canada, and this does not seem like it's worth fighting for. I'm sorry to say, but 10 years ago it was fighting for. 10 years ago it was a fantastic land of affordability and opportunity. Yeah, that's the general thoughts. The land is really, really cheap. I was surprised to find land anywhere between like 5 to 7,000, and it's like a 2-acre, 1.5, 2-acre, 3-acre. Anything like that in Canada starts at about 25 to 30,000. Starts, right, for like 1.5, 2-acre, or even less. I've seen like sub-acre plots for starting at 25. Like, you have to be really lucky to find something like this. Usually something that is that cheap is in the middle of bogged down nowhere. Man, these animations actually seem to work pretty well. Okay. I think swapping heads is going to be fairly simple too. And the character should be 32 pixels now, more or less, which means we should be able to fit through a single 32 pixel block, or 64 pixel block, I should say. Player 64 pixels. Where is auto tile? There we go. Let me double check this. Dang it. Food's generally 1,000 times better anywhere else. Yeah. Nah. You will consider going back to the homeland. What is your homeland? Okay, let's see. Okay. It didn't actually disable the collision shape, did it? Where is it? Body top. Yes. Okay. Disabled false here, and then it's going to be disabled true here. Not far from Hungary. Ah, okay. And you're in the US right now. Look at you. Look at all the Europeans in chat. Nice. Nice, nice, nice. See, the problem is that we have a frame of reference, don't we? We have a frame of reference of what it's like to live outside of US. Which is probably why nobody in US and Canada who's never traveled or lived abroad has any idea of how bad they're getting fucked right now. I think that might actually be the core issue. Okay, is this gonna work? Am I gonna run the right scene? Hopefully. Hey, nice. Okay, now does that work with the controller? Please tell me it does, so I don't have to do anything else. Damn it, wrong scene. Okay, it doesn't work with the joystick down. But that's probably because we're not collecting it. Or we're actually supposed to use a different approach to it. We have joystick, we have D-pad. So if it's not keyboard and it's set to joystick, then we do it here. There we go. What's your homeland? Is that for me or is that for Steven? We'll be having a barbecue in a few years. Hell yeah. I'm down. Okay. Intended direction X. We might actually have to make also intended direction Y. Steven, gotcha. Okay, so this would be down. Or actually, up is negative. Down is positive. Okay, come on. Y. Okay. Reset it. Which, funny enough, I think at this point we might as well just handle it as a vector 2. And then as a matter of fact, I think here we should set it to 0 when there is no intended direction. Added physics interpolation. Yeah, that looks pretty good. That definitely does look pretty good. Okay. This is... Oop. That's for left and right. We're going to have to do joy-axis Y. If the absolute value of joy-axis Y is above 2, then we don't need deceleration. That's not a thing here. We don't need acceleration. That's also not a thing here. We just do it here. Okay. And then here it's just applied with whatever button we press. Okay. Cool. Now, that means here, if this is, what is it, above 0.0, I think that should now give us the slide that works on both joysticks and keyboard and mouse, or keyboard and the D-pad. Nice. Okay. Okay. Come on, man. Son of a chick. Okay. It's moonwalk. Let's see. Why, oh, why do we still have that? It's probably because we're not pressing it. Well, actually, this right here is being oh, well, hold on a sec. This has to be Y. Okay. That's a bit of a problem because this is being reset up here. I think we might have to calculate this up here. Set up, down, intended direction. Up, down, intended direction does not really affect this right here. This is us pressing down. So we are going to swap out. If not, this up is negative, so down is positive. If it's not larger than 0.0, which I know that looks weird, but I just want to have the not keyword there, then this is going to handle the left and right. Now the up and down, we kind of need to borrow everything here. Pluck it out there. Strip out all the X code. What the hell was this else statement for? Okay, none of the X stuff. Just the Y stuff. Y, up, down, yes. And now based on this, we can determine whether or not the left and right should be affected. Because we never actually move up and right. Can we run the right scene, please? For once. Jeez. Well, now it's... Oh, gotta use the controller. Alright. Okay. I mean, it technically works. Might have to change up the slide. Yeah, we're no longer doing a slide that faces the opposite direction. Also, we might want to base this 0.5. There we go. How did you end up in NY? It was a very drunken day. I do not remember it myself. It started with a game of poker and a bottle of pickles. Do not ask where the pickles ended up in. The pickles ended up fighting a civil war in a neighboring country. Nice. Okay, the wall slide doesn't seem to... Your choice when parents made the idiot decision at the time. I mean, is it really an idiot decision at the time? Because I wouldn't say that my parents making a decision 20 years ago to move to Canada was a bad one. Because it did give me some perspective. And I think without perspective, it's difficult to really assess how things are going. Okay. Maybe we're gonna, for the time being, get rid of the slow and then just keep the brake. Probably was a good decision at the time. Yeah, so in our case, you know, this was 2010. The fall of the dissolution of the Soviet Union happened only what, barely 10 years ago. Power vacuum, the things are in disarray. The prospect of what is gonna happen, like, when you literally witness an empire crumble that you live inside of, that you live in the heart of, it crumble right before your eyes, you're like, should we dip before, things might turn far worse? Canada, Sweden, Germany. Okay, so there you go. So I think our parents were basically on the same page in terms of why they decided to do it. I think it was just looking at the basically growing economies of the nearby countries and saying, okay, well, it's probably better, for the sake of our children, to go there because then they'll have the future. Little did they know. Okay. It's looking pretty good. Yeah, so in that regard, I would never really blame my parents for immigrating to Canada, because I learned the language, I learned the way of life. The language especially helps me with the tools I use, because not every single software was translated to Russian, especially when I was getting started. It was very, very difficult to just use any software when everything is in English, and not every software has a translation. So being here, and having access to software and being able to understand what I'm doing definitely helped quite a bit. Cool. Okay. I think it's about time the families start gathering together. Back together, back with the family. Being scattered across the globe when the world is slowly going down the toilet. It's probably not the best approach. Okay, so we have fixed up the slide. The slide is now dependent on us pressing down, which I think actually works a lot better. Let me just quickly go through this level. Just move to the moon. Okay. Okay, this feels a little bit better. The wall slide, or the wall jump, doesn't quite seem to be very responsive. Let's double check something. Is the wall jump using the intended direction? Or is it using a regular X? Wall jump, okay. Wall jump away velocity. Oh. Well, hold on a sec. There might be a problem with this. If we're pressing down while we're on the wall, it wouldn't really know what our intended velocity is. So we might want to handle. Oh, yes. We might want to handle this right here. If if not attempting to slide. So it only updates the real velocity. And then here, same thing, if not attempting to slide. What's wrong? All right. Actually, no, we do need this. We just don't need this. Okay, so that should still keep the intended velocity updated. Yeah. No. Not in this case. You know, if we're going through all this trouble, why not just run the whole intended velocity update here? Seems like a lot of work and a lot of exceptions. Okay. And then we're going to take this. Dear God, give me enough brain juice to make this work without breaking it any further. Okay, we're just recording the intended velocity. So we don't need this. Okay. Intended velocity, which we can actually just should we check for velocity if it's above 0.2? Maybe, maybe not. Okay. We don't need y. It's irrelevant, which means this whole thing is irrelevant. We're not adjusting velocity here. We're only doing this right here. Okay. There's a few lines of code, which means we can probably combine the two together. Okay. Now that means intended velocity should not belong here. This is back to only adjusting left and right movement. Cool. 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 Maybe. I dread finding out how much I've just sodomized this entire code base. Okay. Man, I remember my earliest point when I realized, not realized, but when I wanted to start experimenting with game dev. And it was the point when I had downloaded. I've been playing games for PC games primarily for a while now, but I really wanted to get into game development. Jesus Christ! My entry point was I figured, oh, if I want to make games, I gotta learn how to program C++. Imagine an 8 or 10-year-old me trying to learn C++. And this was, C++ from 2000 and what, 8, 6, 2000 something. I think it was 2005, 2006. Yeah. That was a very quick failure. Because I didn't even know how you could possibly turn C++ into a game. Because every tutorial that I found, or not tutorial, but every piece of documentation material I found is like basics, right? Multiplication, division, functions, loops, and I'm looking at it and I have absolutely no idea how does this turn into a game. How do I make a pixel appear on the screen? So yeah. That's where game engines like Game Maker Studio had really came in handy, because they showed you how code turns into a game. Okay, now why aren't we turning around here? Intended Y, intended X. Oh, right, because it was being cleared after we set it. There was much less knowledge in the internet before. Yeah, so there was just no way to really get started. Okay, there we go. Okay, I think we should make the slide be a lot more, a lot stronger. Intended direction X, which I think... Where is it? Acceleration data, extra speed mod. Here's another point when we modify the speed based on if we're on the floor or not. I don't think we want that. Actually, this is for changing directions in midair, not being as strong as when you're floating. That's fair enough. Okay. Okay, so that means we don't need this. We already have it here. We have acceleration, we have delta, we have extra speed mod. Maybe this is where we should make the extra speed mod effectively be faster if we're trying to change directions on the ground. If sine that of the intended velocity is the same as sine of velocity on the x-axis. So if the intended direction is positive and we are moving to the right, then speed is going to be 1. However, if we're trying to go in the opposite direction than we're moving, it's going to be 1.6. Thus, hopefully, helping us to overcome the effects of the slide. And I think that's the biggest problem that I had right now with the movement. After I added the slide, it actually meant that anytime you're trying to move in the opposite direction, you have to go through the slide. Okay, so if I do this, there we go. So you can very quickly change direction of movement. But if you want to slide, you just do this. down. More control. Ooh. I think the sprite for the slide should be a lot smaller, because the pose itself is just very large. Come on. Okay, yeah. Okay. Nope. Don't merge. Oh, come on. Export. You just made a Canadian from some... Yeah. I'm not your guy, buddy. I'm not your buddy, pal. I'm not your pal, friend. Oh, God. How did that happen? Yeah, what? Excuse me? That's not what it looks like in... Oh, it is. Okay. It's freaking Krita being stupid. Oh, what's that? Onion skin? Sure, yeah, let's include that. That makes sense. That's the ghostly image of the previous frame. Yeah, let's keep it in. Sounds good, boss. What else you want? It's a good thing these are separate animations in the animated sprite, because I can actually add things like hair wiggle, some small idle animations. It's not just static frames. Nice. Whoop, and we're stuck. Okay. I haven't made it so that if you get up in the tight spot, it's lethal. It's technically... Huh. Let's double check something. I think we need to dial in the collision shape. Okay. How big is this? Height is 32 pixels. This will have to be 31 pixels. Just bring this down. Mm-hmm. Oof. All right, there we go. Well, that actually reads a lot better, too. You can actually see that we're trying to duck down. Okay, now with that said, we were looking at the wall jump. Wall jump. Wall jump true. If jump key is pressed, curious, not on the floor, not jump pressed, and then jump reset, jeez, jump is true. Make sure this is not a slip block. Can't wall jump off of a slip block. Okay. Wall jump away velocity. How'd you make the other character's copy movement with a delay? I record the location and current sprite into an array. There's about 60 frames backlog, and then I have basically a timer that waits for 1 second, and then it basically just starts reading the array at the same rate that I record to the array. So the array is actually being written to every, like, I think 1/10 of a second or every 1/4 of a second. Probably 1/10 of a second. The movement would be too averaged if it was a 1/4. So because I'm recording to it every 1/10 of a second, then I just have to read from it every 1/10 of a second, and then interpolate between positions. Yeah. And all I have to do is just start reading a second later, and that's it. It works. Of course, making sure that the array is of fixed size and doesn't actually grow all the time. So I have to remove old values. I also have a system where I can actually record the motions of characters. So I'll just press record on the keyboard or on the controller and then run through the obstacles myself. And then when I press the button again, it saves it as a file. And then I can have the characters replay that sequence anytime I need. So it's kind of like I think it would be handy for doing character animations. If I need an NPC to go in a certain direction, animating them by hand, doing wall slides and then running and all that stuff might be a lot of work. So I can simply play through that sequence, have them go from point A to point B, and then play that animation in response. Don't know if it's any better or worse, but it is what it is. Okay. Velocity Y. Jump speed. We actually need this. Aha. There it is. So if we're detecting that there's a wall on the right, velocity X is going to be set to negative sprint speed multiplied by this number, but only if the intended direction is to the left. Otherwise, it's going to be a lot slower. So this is it. This is the wall slide. That's even useful for playing back other players' speedruns, for example. Yeah. Every time you pass a level in Super Meat Boy, it actually replays every single death you've ever had. So you just see this like ocean of characters running and dying everywhere. It's a really fun little mechanic they put in. Fun little feature. Okay. Sprint speed. So this is where we determine how much we are jumping and whether or not this is a short jump or a long jump. It uses intended direction. Okay, right. So we have wall on the right side. And if intended direction is less than 0, that means we're going to the left. Okay, does anything interfere with intended direction? Doesn't seem like it. Hmm. Weird. Weird stuff. Maybe we can go a little bit extreme with it. Let's say it's going to be 1.0. This would be left, so the opposite direction would be this one. That is technically what we're looking for. Maybe we just need to be a bit more lenient in terms of how far the raycasts are detecting. Oh yeah. Let's see. Wall detection. Body entered. What do we do here? Wall hit sound effects. Okay, that's only for detecting when we're touching the wall. That has nothing to do with jumping. Got it. Okay. So wall right. We know that the player's collision shape is perfectly centered, and it is 38 pixels wide. So that means left bottom, left top, 38. This would be 50. Okay. Let's do it like this. Let's be a bit more permissive. Oh yeah, that seems a little bit more responsive. Sure. Although, you know what? Maybe not. Maybe, instead of saying that it is going to be making it 1, if it's the opposite, maybe we should just detect if it should be reduced. So let's say, this might seem kind of redundant, but I think the amount of travel when our thumb goes from left to right might actually matter here. So let's say, I mean, no, we're already technically doing that. If it's above 0.1, actually, no, we could go further. Let's say we do this. So it's going to hug the wall, which means it's going to be 0.25 if the direction is less than negative 0.025. Otherwise, it will be 1.0. So that means you have to actually push your controller a little bit further away from the left side of the wall. So if your controller is in the middle, it will count as a wall jump. The long wall jump. Okay, so let's do this here as well. So 0.25, so we'll quarter the horizontal offset if we are actively pushing ourselves to the wall. Otherwise, it will be 1.0. Okay, I'm running the player scene, don't need that. Okay. Let's see. So that's quarter. And then that's the wall jump. Okay, it works on the right, does not work on the left. Why? Oh, right. If it's less than negative 0.25. Okay. Yes. Okay. Cool. If it only was facing the right direction. Okay, so you know what? That actually works way better. And it works way better because you have to actively be pushing the controller to the side in order to prevent the wall jump. But if you don't hold it, then you just do this. So the wall jump becomes just natural. Oh man, that's so much better. That is so much better. It works. It works indeed. I'm not sure why the direction is different, however. Let's see. I think we're using... Are we using intended? If not on the wall, we are not. If the speed is at least higher than 0.2 and not hurt, intended direction, maybe that's the problem. Shouldn't be intended direction. Should be just velocity dot x. That might be a problem though. Yeah, it has to be intended velocity because that allows us to control it. Interesting. Thank you for the Monday night entertainment. Sounds good, man. Okay. I need to be able to see what the heck is happening. We have a dev thing over here. Dev text floor. Okay. Let's see if on the wall is true or false. Hanzo and his mighty partner Chubalu. Okay. Okay. It does actually set to false. Okay, so let's just see. I think maybe when we're jumping. Oh, okay, that might be it. So if we're on the wall determines our angle. And then you can see right now the velocity determines the angle, which means that we can't slow down and then face the other direction. Okay, so that means we have to do this. If on floor, which we'll just use the built-in function, if is on floor is true, we don't need to work with player head anymore. It's just player body. If we're on the floor, flip is determined by determined by the condition intended direction x less than 0. So if that's true, flip is true. If that's false, flip is false. And then otherwise, if we are not on the floor, then the body flip is determined by velocity on the x being less than 0.0. Which technically this means has to be less. So if we're on the floor, it's the intended direction that we use to determine the flip. If we're not on the floor, it's whatever the actual velocity is that determines the flip. All right. Okay, I need a sandbox. I can't actually tell if it's working. Seems like it's working. Okay. Okay. All right. Yep. So that's based on our real direction. And now if we're on the ground, yep, we could switch it based on where we're intending to go. Okay. Nice. Okay. Maybe when we're doing a wall jump, we should do slightly less reduction. Like this. So it's going to be a little bit over half. Okay, so that right there. Maybe less. What was it before? 25. Let's do 35. Okay. Yeah, so it's not too permissive so that you don't primarily do single wall jumps. It's not really supposed to be super powerful. Wall-to-wall jump's supposed to give you a lot more traversal. And then we've got our... Oh, that's cool. It looks like when we're on the ground, we can determine the direction of the slide. Nice. Okay, cool. I'd say this is pretty good. I didn't actually expect to do a whole bunch of extra work on traversal, but I am happy with where we are. That seems to be working much more intuitively. Beautiful. All right, that's it. 3 hours is good enough. We're hopefully going to come back later today. I want to see if I can get some extra work done on this. And yeah, cool beans. Thanks for watching. All right, fellas. Hopefully we'll be back. Hopefully I'm not going to be too out of juice, out of fuel. Alrighty.